Good morning, YouTube. I was watching a video from SmileyStorey's World. She called the Hawkins County District Attorney's Secretary regarding the Summer Wells case. It was a very interesting phone call. It is in two parts. Um, I'm going to play it for you guys. Her link is in the description. It's a pretty good phone call. She did an amazing job, and she would also like for us to share the phone call and get the word out. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and play the phone call, and I hope that it's okay that if I don't stop it and just let it play, because if I keep stopping, I want you guys to hear every word of the call that was, placed and stuff. And um, I guess if it's a problem, just let me know and we can just talk about it. But here we go. District Attorney's Office.
Hi, is this Becky?
It is.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Well, my name is Tammy, and I was trying to call. I've been trying to call all week, but I never get an answer or a voicemail. And
Our phones have been down for a solid 10 days. We didn't get any phones until late Friday afternoon.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. So, I was just calling. I was trying to find out a couple of things. I noticed, well, first of all, can you tell me how things are coming along with the Summer Wells case? Would you mind telling me that?
Well, we are tracking down everything that every lead. We're tracking them down. They've been back up there to search. They didn't find anything. There is activity on that case every day. Is it been nothing except return a phone call to somebody that says you left a message and she does something, tell me.
Yeah. So do you think there's going to be a resolution in that case, or?
Ma'am, if I had knowledge of that, I would go today and find her little body and resolve this issue.
Yes, ma'am.
I just don't know how it's going to turn out, but my gut instinct says it's been an awful long time.
I know
for a 6-year-old.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking. It's really sad. It's really touched my heart. It's really heartbreaking to me too, and I worry about it so much. I worry because they don't come out and give updates and stuff like that, and I know there's probably nothing new, but I mean, is there a reason that you think that, in your opinion, that they don't do that, or?
Well, can I be perfectly blunt with you?
You can be perfectly blunt and honest with me, because the reason I say that is, and let me just say this first, is because you see all these other cases where they come out and they give conferences, or they at least keep you updated and stuff like that. And I just want honesty from people,
Well, they're not trying to hide anything. It's just that, to be perfectly blunt with you, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't.
Yeah.
You would not believe that the
stuff that people have said to me about my sheriff's department. You know,
Yeah.
and I know for a fact that they are working their butts off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I mean, you know, but if you don't have anything new to say, and you come out and you go on to the news and say, well, you know, sad as it is, we don't have anything new and we don't have any, you know, anything additional to tell you. Well, then the next thing that happens is, well, you know, that damn sorry department, they need to be having somebody that knows what they're doing to do this investigation. You know, when I don't know what else they'd like, because the FBI is involved in it, the TBI is involved in it, Hawkins County Sheriff's Department is beat up with it. They're so involved with it. You know, I mean, I don't know who else they would like for us to call in.
I think
to make it magically happen.
Yes, ma'am. I think a lot of it is because a lot of people, you know, I think a lot of it, you know, they put their trust in Ronnie and they had a lot of trust in Hawkins County Sheriff's Department up until a lot of that come out about Brandon Lawson. And even, and I don't mean.
Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am, I have 4. I have 4 grown.
Are you responsible for what your children do?
No, I'm not responsible for. No, ma'am, I'm not responsible for what they do. But to an extent, you know, I don't hide what they do either. And the problem with that lies where Ronnie was on Summer's case or ahead of it or whatever. And, you know, this is where people has a problem, is where he, and I don't just blame Ronnie, and, you know, people don't just blame Ronnie. So you know, I'm trying to be very respectful with you. I'm just being, you know, talking to you, is where, so he sat on this for a long time while he was on this case. You asked me, did I have children? So I couldn't sit on something my child did like this for a while. And and TBI did too. So I also blame TBI, because if that was you or me or anybody else, trust me, Ronnie or Hawkins County or nobody else is going to have your back or your child's back either, to sit on it, to be hush-hush, or have special investigations come in and wait until the time is right for your child to go have special whatever, although you work for them. That's not going to happen. If something ever in the future should happen to your child or your grandchildren or anybody else, they're not going to have your back. You know, they're not going to have Miss Becky's back or Miss Becky's family's back, and they're not going to have Miss Tammy's back or, you know, anybody else's back for that matter. So that's where lies the biggest problem right there. And TBI would not either. So that's where a lot of the disturbance comes in at. And no, although Ronnie's not responsible, a lot of it comes in there. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
You know, I mean, that's a hard pill to swallow. And, you know, so then people go back and then they look at things with fresh eyes and from the beginning, and then they go, well, things were done like this and that before we even knew about Brandon, and then this is how, you know,
Well, I mean, in my opinion counts for 50 cents. Just let me clue you in.
yes, ma'am. I understand.
But I don't see where Brandon and some Wales have anything in connection. Number one, Ronnie is Brandon's father. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie didn't know this happened. Didn't know that it was being investigated until all the people had been involved and had been talked to, and everybody had. And then, out of common courtesy, my investigator from this office went to Ronnie and said, "Look, we need to make you up to par and let you know that your son is going to be charged with this."
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and as far as Summer, yes, he is the elected sheriff, but, you know, he doesn't run the FBI, don't run the TBI, and he has had 2 officers dedicated to this case from the moment she went missing.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, they report to him and say, you know, this is what's happening, or this is what I've done, or this is what, you know, this crazy lady said when she called, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I had a lady call me last week, before last, and told me that she was from the Wales and that I needed to make arrangements for her to meet her mom and daddy for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
And she had to be 60 years old.
my God. Yeah, I mean, and
I mean, you know, you're dealing with those, and I don't mean to be this disrespectful, because, you know, there's mental illness in every family. But, you know, wackos are hindering this investigation with stuff like that. Because when I get that message, or when the officer gets that message, it has to be checked out.
yes, and I agree.
You know, there might be an ounce of something that would be important to that craziness. And you have to stop what you're doing and check it out.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that's just time delay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. And I 1,000% agree with you there. You know, because we have people saying, you know, if there's pictures floating around, which I know y'all know about stuff like that, if there's this child or that child that somebody puts out, or, you know, that don't need to be checked out. No, everything needs to be checked out. It has to.
Everything that we get wind of is the officers stop what they're doing, lay that aside, and work on this like it's hot fires.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
there might be something important.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I agree with that. Well, let's see. Can I ask you? Now I heard. Okay, so well, we can, I guess, get out of the way. Ronnie has no intention of stepping down or anything because of what Brandon did.
No.
Okay.
I mean, if my son or daughter was drunk, killed somebody yesterday, would that cost me my job when I've been here 37 years? No.
Okay. Does he intend on speaking on it or anything like that, or is he just gonna go on about his daily routine?
Speaking on what?
On his son being arrested. I'm just wondering. I'm just asking.
Well, I don't know what he intends to do, but if it were me, I'd say no. You know, my son was dealt with the judicial system. He's now in jail where he is serving his time, and I don't see where I owe anybody any explanation because, you know, I am a hurt parent. My heart's hurting. That's my kid. You know, God knows I didn't want any of this for him. But, you know, no, I don't intend to drag it out and talk about it. I mean, that's where I would be if I were him.
Yeah, it's just that people think that, and I'm not just speaking for me, but it's just people think that he did not get, or maybe he got special treatment because even looking back in, even, let me just put it this way, even with Don Wells, Don got more time with his DUI than Brandon got with what he did, saying, for worse crimes that people do, people do lesser crimes and get more stuff. Brandon, do you get what I'm saying? I mean, and that
I understand exactly where you're coming from, but that case was handled in the Greenville office, and it was the deal. The charges were placed in the Greenville office.
This gets better.
What he was going to be sentenced to was placed in the Greenville office. But I will tell you this: it'd be real hard to be on probation for 20 years.
Well, yeah, I agree. But can I ask you why Dan Armstrong did not handle that case? I'm just being blunt. Why was it handed over to Greenville?
Because Richie Collins and Cecil Mills, who are the senior ADAs in the Greenville office, they were the ones that it was first reported to. They are the ones who did all the interviews. And, Dan, they told Dan what was happening, but, Dan he's spread thin sometimes between 4 counties.
Yeah. But it was his jurisdiction. I mean, why did he choose to hand it over to them? I mean, why
he didn't hand it over to them. It was they were the two people who came when the girl walked in and wanted to report it. They were the two people who interviewed her first. So after all these people were interviewed and everything, and they talked about it and talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. I mean, there's no reason, for Dan to say, well, I'm the elected official, and I'm going to go to court and do the presentation. There's just no reason for him to step in because people's got 40 years of experience and Richie's got 18.
Why did they bring in?
There's just no need.
Why did they bring in a special judge? I'm just trying to understand all of this. Why did they bring in?
Well, the reason if the same scenario, if my kid killed somebody drunk tomorrow or yesterday, they would bring someone in because our judge has to deal with our sheriff, and he recused himself. He would just rather someone handle it that has no affiliation with our sheriff's department. And they often do that. It's very common. That's no special nothing.
Well, so does Dan Armstrong think he's going to get any kind of conviction on the Summer Wells case at all? How does he feel about that?
Well, ma'am, we can't convict somebody till we find somebody who did it. You've got to have a defendant before you can have a conviction.
Okay, but you stated earlier, in your opinion, it come out of your mouth, you feel Summer Wells is dead, correct?
Well, I feel like it is logically probably so. It's just, where is she? We've looked everywhere. We've looked every rock. Where is she? And she's, and would make me any happier than her to open my front door and, you know, and I'd recognize a little angel. I swear I would.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Ronnie keeps saying everybody's a suspect and everything's still
Wait
on the
for
table.
this.
Well, it is. I mean, until you get a definite defendant or a definite cluster of defendants, meaning 1, 2, or 3, or whatever, you know, everybody is a potential suspect.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have the neighbor who, you know, keeps going around saying, oh, I'm not a suspect. I've been told that.
You know, our law enforcement and me, even you know, I'm responsible for what I say and do. I can't comment on what the neighbor says or what she thinks she is or what she thinks she ain't. It just, you know, if she's fooled enough to think that she is exonerated and she's absolutely cleared, then, you know, that's her own assumption. No one has said, sister, you're free and clear.
So you can't, I mean, she couldn't be, I mean, in other words, she's still a suspect. Is that correct?
Everybody is a suspect until we get somebody that walks in this office or that sheriff's department up there and says, you know, I took some of Wales, or I know where she's at, and they lead us to her. You know, everybody is a potential suspect because we have no clue what happened to that baby girl except she's missing.
Yeah, and I understand that.
That is the one thing we are absolutely positive of. She is missing. She is not in her family's home, and she is not attending the school that she should be attending, you know, as a first grader.
Mm-hmm.
Those things we're positive of.
Mm-hmm.
But all the rest is just
baloney.
Opinion or suspect, you know, or baloney. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Baloney is a good word for it.
I think it's a distraction. I think people want to distract. That's what I think. And why is the question.
I will tell you this. We have spent many hours trying to verify, I mean, just crazy conversations, you know, that I've had with people.
Uh-huh.
You know, but, you know, I jot everything down that's said, you know, and I turn it over to the officer, and then it's his job to filter it to see if there is anything. But there again, if he's wasting time filtering when she's, you know, shooting bullshit,
yeah,
then you're wasting precious time that could be used to find her.
Yes. So I just know, you know, that also too, sometimes they can prosecute without a body. And so I just wondered if, you know, that was...
Well, I have been here 37 years in this office, and I've witnessed and participated and helped prepare many murder trials in that length of time in my capacity as a legal secretary here. And I have never seen a trial with an extensionary. You have to have a body under Tennessee law.
Mm-hmm. So if they never find Summer Wells, then I guess the people just walk free. In Summer Wells's case, unless you have a strong tip or something like that or proof. Um, and that's what I'm just kind of afraid of. Um,
Well, we all have the same fear that she will never be found and no one will ever serve time or she will not have justice. I mean, that's a fear we all have, but that, you know, that's, I mean, it's awful because she turned out to be a 5-year-old child, but man, I've got 7 other people that are missing in Hawkins County. You know?
Yes, ma'am. And
There's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, there are just, you know, all of them are active cases, and all of them are, you know, all of them are worked periodically at times.
There's a lot of those. I mean, we haven't heard about. Is there a reason for that? I mean,
some of these cases, I mean, you know, go to your Rogersville Review. Just less than 3 months ago, you know, they wrote an article on every one of them.
Okay. I mean, I'll go back and look. I mean, I try to tend to search it every day, but I could have easily missed it. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. It really is.
And I don't mean to cut this short, but I've got a doctor's appointment in 20 minutes, and I've got to go across town.
Can I ask you one more question, and I'll let you go?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to. Is it true? I mean, there's rumor. Is it true that Ronnie Lawson's daughter is sick and they don't expect her to make it? Is that a truth or a rumor?
Well, I feel like that's a question you need to ask Ronnie.
Well, I would if I could actually get a hold of him. He's a very hard man to get a hold of these days.
Well, I mean, you know, he does have a daughter, and that's all I'm going to say.
Is she sick? Let's just say, is she sick? Can we just do that?
What does it matter?
Well, maybe a lot of people might ease up on him a little bit. I just kind of heard that.
You know, instead of people, I'm sorry, but, you know, where's the people's forgiveness in this mess? I mean, you know, can you imagine having to live with this as an elected official and it being your son? I mean, can you imagine the hurt and horror that you're living with?
Well, yes.
And I mean, you know, and I just don't understand where Brandon Lawson doesn't have anything to do. Anything.
Well, can I ask you this? Where was Brandon Lawson? Did even his dad ask on June 15th of 2021? Do we even know? Now, I'll just be blunt with you there. Nobody knows where Summer's at. Nobody knows if she'll ever be found. So I'll just straight out ask you, where was Brandon Lawson on that day, ma'am?
I have no idea.
Okay, there's your answer, and there's the question. Nobody knows nothing. Yeah. So, yeah, I would be hurt, but I'm not going to cover up nothing for my son in relations to being a child predator. I'm sorry, especially not on my own granddaughter.
I will make sure that the officer that, I report to, I'll make sure that he knows that you all want to know.
Well, we would like to know, and again, if Ronnie's daughter is sick, please send our prayers, because we do not we don't want that,
Well, I mean, she needs your prayers.
Thank you. I mean, we do pray. We don't want anybody that is, nobody else innocent needs to be put through any of this mess. None of it. and we want Summer Wells found, and we hope Mr. Armstrong will please do his due diligence, and maybe he should consider doing work without a body. When does the next grand jury meet? May I ask that? And then I'll let you go.
Our next grand jury is December the 5th.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Becky, and you have a great day, okay? And bless you.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. That was a lot, but I hope y'all got something out of it. How do you feel about using deadly force? Okay, I had another call. Today. And it was to Becky. It was kind of interesting.
District Attorney's Office.
Hey, Becky, how are you?
I'm very busy. Can I help you?
Yeah, this is Tammy. I spoke with you yesterday. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I was calling, I was just thinking, we had talked about Summer's case and everything, and I was just thinking when you said that, you worked for them for 37 years and that they can't, press charges on anybody without a body or anything like that. But I was just wondering, you are well aware of several cases there in your, also in your neighboring county, like Janet Marsh back in 2013, Caleb Cannon, 2014, Joe Clyde Daniels, and they did arrest Megan Boswell before the baby was found just in false testimony. And so I was just wondering, with your expertise, is there anything that we could do to have, because it is possible to be arrested without a body, and you did say you thought, someone was deceased. Is there any...
Miss Boswell was not arrested for murder at that time. She was arrested for false reporting.
Yes, that's what I said. She was arrested before they found her body for false testimony or false, reporting. But the others, Joe, let's go to Joe Clyde Daniels then. Joe Clyde Daniels' father they still have not found the body. And his dad is doing life in prison, as well as his mom took a plea deal. She's doing 15 years on a plea deal and make it out in 10. And then you got the big case down in Nashville, Tennessee, Janet Marsh, Perry Marsh, the murder trial that went on down there. I'm just curious, with your expertise again, is there anything that can be done to help push along this case for Summer Wells? It just really gets to me really bad. And, I'm just wondering, is there anything that we as people or citizens that do care about Summer can do?
Well, first of all, let me explain this. I am not an expert in anything. Okay?
Okay.
I have been blessed to have a job being the secretary, a legal secretary here for 37 years. That does not make me an expert. Okay?
Okay.
And like I explained to you yesterday, mean, you know, we don't have any, I mean, who, you know, I keep asking you, who do you want to charge? No one has been, you know, no one has been accused and confronted or interviewed for the disappearance of Summer Wells.
Aha, so are you telling me that nobody, y'all have not interviewed anybody in the disappearance of Summer Wells?
Ma'am, we've interviewed hundreds of people, but nobody that we can say, aha, you are the person who we think did it.
Okay, so, okay, but nobody's been ruled on or off the table. Again, I ask you, I would be asking Ronnie these questions, but Ronnie is hard to get a hold of. You're the next best thing. So I'm asking you in all due respect. And again, I beg to differ. You've been there 37 years. You have some type of expertise. You said yesterday, y'all sat there, you've talked, you've went over and over and over again. I've thought about this all night long. I dream about this. You told me y'all have talks about this. You have called everybody in. No, they will not let everybody in. They don't want Echo Search back. Why? What is to hide? What? What are they hiding? Why won't they allow people in to search? What is going on?
Ma'am, that's private property, and if you've ever been up there, it is very rocky, dangerous territory.
I absolutely
You know,
have.
it's rocky, it's snaky, you know, it's bear infested, you know, and at this point in time, it's still a crime scene.
Okay, so if it's a crime scene, why, and I won't keep you on here as long as I did yesterday, but this is bothering me to the point. Why, if it is a crime scene, now y'all say it's a crime scene. If it is a
Now, wait a minute, Lucy, wait a minute.
Okay.
They said nothing. I said that.
Okay.
You know, whoever they is not talking. It is me.
Okay. You.
Okay.
Okay. So you work for the DA. You say it's a crime scene. So I'm asking you, if it's a crime scene, why in the world would they allow them? Because this has been bothering me, in my opinion. Why would they allow them to remodel their house, tear out stuff, move stuff? People take off in the last car she was seen in, go out of state. Why? What in the world? Nobody else will be able to do that. And I don't care what state you're in. And I'm asking you that. So.
Well, all I can tell you is, you know, this lady is Summer's mother, and she has not been charged.
Mm-hmm.
She's been interviewed, she's been lie detected, you name it, you know, but she has not been charged. And, you know, as long as they pay for that property, I reckon they can do pretty much what they want to with it. I mean, you know, that's my, you know, I pay for my property, and you know, if I take a notion I want to rip the ball out and remodel, I'm going to do it.
Well, you know, from day one, you saw, I don't know if you saw it or not, but from day one, when the cops were up there and they were talking, excuse me, they were interviewing the boys, or it was that night, you know, that evening, whatever. It was caught on video on the news, where the sheriffs and all them were up there, that you have grandma moving buckets around. Nobody was kept in one spot. They were talking to the children. Everybody was all, that's just not a normal scene. I don't care if it was at that time not to be a crime scene or that was the last place she was found. Everybody should have been kept in one place. This is what I'm saying. If
Listen, I wasn't up there.
I know you wasn't.
And I mean, there were many, many, many trained people up there. I wasn't up there, and what you think should have happened is your personal opinion. What happened is, they were there and did the investigation, and that's all I can tell you. I can't answer your questions as to why.
What do you have to do to become a police officer there?
What
are the qualifications?
Ma'am, you're asking me something it's not my field. I don't know. Call the sheriff's department, ask to talk to Tony Allen, and he can tell you what it takes to be a police officer. And we're really short-handed, so if you want to be one, come on down.
Well, they sure sent me an application. They did send me an application. It was in the rudest form. So I will say that somebody should have been fired for actually doing that. I don't know if you heard about that little incident a few months ago or not, but on that application, it was about 10 pages front and back, and there was only one thing on that application, and that had to pertain to do with being a cop, and it was it said something like, how do you feel about using deadly force? Are you kidding me? Well, I don't know. I got mad and filled it out, and I said, try me and find out. But I hadn't sent it out yet because I'm holding on to that for other reasons, but that's beside the point. But I'm just wondering what kind of qualifications they actually have to have up there.
Like I said, all of them have attended the Walker State Community Police Academy, or 90% of them have, and they all, if they stay with the force, eventually they will be there. And that's all I can tell you. As far as age, education, degree, any of that stuff, that is beyond my knowledge.
What is the other 10%? What did they attend? Nothing like I'm not being funny, but what did they attend? Did they just come off the street?
Well, when they're hired, they are not ever put on the street. They spend, a lot of them spend years in the jail, the correctional facility, as a correctional officer.
Because I know, a lot of those, and just talking to you, I know that a lot of those have worked there, have been RSOs, have been hired and fired by Ronnie. One was in fact hired 3 times and fired, and it's just it makes me think.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't, you're asking me stuff I can't answer. I don't have a clue.
And
Ronnie don't check in with me when he hires and fires. He runs his own department.
Okay, that's fair enough. My opinion, though, is you work for DA Armstrong. So you know a lot of what goes on over there in the DA's office and what should go on.
And confidentiality is the number one thing in this office.
Well, I don't know about that. But I know that something needs to be done in Summer's case. And I don't understand. Okay. I don't understand what y'all are doing to help in Summer's case is my issue.
I explained all this to you yesterday. If we have 500 complaints or tidbits or, all of that is researched and either yes, it's something that we might can use or something that might lead to something else, or no, it's somebody killing time, running their mouth about things they don't know anything about.
Should y'all be on, because I trust y'all more actually than I do Hawkins County Sheriff's Department. Shouldn't y'all be on a tip line or something in case? Because you seem like you want to. You seem like you chase tips more than they do, I guess is what I'm saying. Can y'all handle getting calls for tips for summer? I mean, I know it goes to TBI and Hawkins County, but I don't see people putting Hawkins County out there anymore just because of the shenanigans over there. But are y'all willing to take tips, or do you?
We don't have the personnel to handle tips.
Okay.
But if there is something that somebody knows, and you don't feel like you trust Ronnie, then God forbid, yes, call. I'll take the message and get it to the proper person.
Well, let me tell you something about a lot of people there. How long have you lived in that county? And can I ask that? That's a personal question, but can I ask that?
It is a personal question. I've lived here since 1970.
Okay. Then you should know, but you may not. There are many of local people there. I'm not afraid one bit. I'm trying to help these people, but there are a lot of local people there who are afraid to speak out, only because in their mind it's a kind of Ronnie Lawson mafia per se. I don't know how to dress that up any better. But they don't want to speak. They say Ronnie intimidates. He personally goes and intimidates in his own little way. There is corruption there. And a lot of people fear for their safety as well as their family safety. And a lot of stuff goes on, and I know you're not at the jail, so a lot of stuff goes on inside that jail, and just a lot of people fear. They put the fear of God in them, whether it be blackmail, whether it be just speaking out or something like that. And Ronnie runs his elections, of course, opposed. Nobody runs against him, so of course he's gonna win. And again, yesterday, that's what I was trying to get at. A lot of things with Brandon. He was asking me back and forth, but we won't even go into that. That don't make a difference. But that's where a lot of people's coming from, and so they kind of need a voice, and that's kind of where I stand right now. But I'm just.
Where are you from, Tammy?
I'm originally from Tennessee. That's not where I'm at right now, but I'm originally from Tennessee. And, I just kind of, I've took on, like I said,
See, she didn't deny none of that.
And I really want to help this little girl. I don't feel like
She didn't deny a damn thing I said about Ronnie
swept under the rug
or his mafia.
I promise you that is, I don't care what you feel, and I promise you that's not the case.
Well,
I'm sorry that you feel that way, but that is not the case. And, and I don't mean to be rude, and I don't mean to cut you short, but I've got two officers standing here that need my help.
Okay, well, you go help them, because I know they need help. I know they do. But you have a great day, and I hope everything went okay yesterday, and you have a great day, okay?
All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, bye-bye. You too, bye-bye.
Well, what do y'all think about that phone call? I know some of you was commenting during the phone call, but wasn't that interesting phone call? Like, I don't think that lady should have said a lot of what she said. What about you? I don't know. I'll guess let's see what happens if she calls the lady back or if something starts happening with the case. Hopefully, she stirred up a little something and maybe I don't know if they'll get back on the case or not, but hopefully they will. Hopefully they find somebody. She'll be 7 years old in February. And it's just sad situation, very sad situation all the way around. I just pray, and I know you guys pray that she's found or justice is done for her. Well, I've been on here for almost an hour, and I really just wanted to play the videos of the phone calls for you guys because she did ask for it to be shared, and that's what I'm doing. A lot of people do lips. I know you did a lot on the Summer Wells case also. If you want to drop your link real quick before I leave, you can. Well, the hand hearts is better than the shaking hands anyway, Mary, so that's okay. That's the first time that I've ever heard of her was whenever I was listening to Justice for All. You guys sub up to Mary and to Lips, please. We all would appreciate it. If you're just coming in, please rewind and you can hear both phone calls that SmileyStorey's World made to the district attorney's secretary in Hawkins County regarding Summer Wells. There's Lips link. You guys please sub up to Mary and Lips, and I will see you guys again somewhere on these YouTube streets. Have a wonderful day.